All right. So today on the show, we have a special guest, Chandler Baird, who runs Spokane Eats. She's a local influencer in our city, AKA Spokane's Hype Girl, which is totally true. And today, we're going to get to dive deeper into her story and how she's built such an incredible brand in our city. So without further ado, welcome to the show, Chandler.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here. It's funny, I actually just changed my Instagram bio yesterday to Spokane's Hype Girl because somebody said it to me, and I'm like, I'm claiming that forever.
Yeah. Yep, I saw it just before this interview. I was like, I haven't seen that, but it's
Uh-huh.
perfect.
I
Yeah,
know, I need
so
to make merch. That's what I'm
yeah,
gonna do next.
yep, yep. So if anyone doesn't know who you are, can you just give a quick rundown who you are, where you're from, and what you do in Spokane?
Yeah, so I am originally from Texas, moved to Spokane in 2014 with my husband. He's from here. And I was not super excited to move here, had only visited once or twice, didn't really know the city, but we were moving here. So I tried to make the best of it and would spend my lunch breaks while I was doing my corporate job walking around town, discovering new businesses, trying new restaurants, all the things, and started to realize that Spokane was actually an incredible place and there were some amazing people that put their hearts and souls into their businesses. And I just wanted to kind of like spread that message amongst anyone living here, anyone visiting, anyone that might be moving to Spokane that felt like me, that there was nothing here
Mm.
because I was very wrong.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. So you moved here. What were you doing previously?
Before we moved here, or when I moved here?
Yeah, yeah. When you moved here, you were doing something else.
Yeah, I was working for a wealth management firm.
Okay.
So we managed people's money and I was doing like reception, marketing, event planning, all of that.
Okay. And so when you decided to explore this Spokane Eats, did you start out just writing a blog or were you always Instagram? How did that start out? What did the early days look like?
Yeah, it started out on Instagram and it really started with like no real plan or, skills necessarily, anything like that. I just kind of looked around Instagram and didn't see anyone that was talking about Spokane, specifically food or other things happening that I felt like was coming from like one person with one voice.
Yeah.
So I'd seen people in other cities doing it and I just kind of thought, why is anyone doing that here? And they're not. So let me just start it and see what happens. And my first, I would say my first couple posts, but my first probably like 50 posts were probably so bad. Like I didn't know anything about photography. I didn't know anything about anything. And I was just kind of going for it because I had a passion and it paid off pretty quickly.
Yeah. So okay, so you say quickly, yeah, what did that look like? I'm sure you were just going and trying as many things and documenting and photographing, and then how long did it take to where someone said, "Hey, I'm kind of interested in what you're doing. Can you maybe help me promote what I'm doing?"
Yeah. So it was very much like a part-time thing. And, I could only do it nights and weekends. And it was hard to find time to go and try and do everything. And I was also doing a ton of research because, like I said, I was new in town. I didn't know, anyone, anything. So I spent a lot of time researching and reading a lot of reviews and things like that. But I would say, I remember my very first, it wasn't my first paid gig, but it was my first like free meal that was offered to me. And it was an
Yeah.
ice cream shop that was open in Coeur d'Alene.
Nice.
And it was called, I think it's Sweet Peaks is what it's called.
Mm.
I should really look that up. They used to have one downtown too. Amazing ice cream, but they reached out and said, "Hey, we follow you on Instagram. Will you come to our grand opening? Like, we want to give you ice cream." And like, I was like, "Oh my gosh, this is the coolest thing ever!" Like,
Yeah.
yes, I will come get ice cream. So that was like the first thing, and that was probably a few months after I started Spokane Eats. And then
Okay.
there were, free meals offered here and there throughout the process. I didn't make any money probably for a year, maybe even like a year and a half. It was very much just like a fun passion project for me.
Hmm. Okay. I mean that's still pretty quick to start getting free meals. Like I'm gonna start one on the side just to get some free meals. I love that.
Yeah,
I
and
think that,
my husband was in medical school, so
yeah,
we had like no money, and I'm like, oh, free food, this is amazing. And we could like do nice, fun date nights when otherwise we wouldn't have been able to afford that. So it was, I mean, he supported it. He loved going out and having a filet when we probably couldn't have purchased that.
yeah, yeah, that's amazing. I was actually curious because I see, your husband, his name's Dan, right?
Yeah.
So I see him in certain things and I'm like, is he the typical Instagram husband or like, what are his thoughts on the whole thing? How does he do it?
Yeah, I mean, he loves it. He's super supportive. He is not on Instagram, like doesn't participate, doesn't,
Yeah,
post. He has a Facebook, I think only for like his little like dermatology, like med school groups that he likes to stay a part of.
yeah.
So like social media is very much not his thing, but he's a good sport about it. He'll take my pictures. They're not always the best. But if we're on a date, I make him take pictures or things like that. And yeah, he's just super supportive. He's the one that kind of like pushed me when I had an opportunity to take on my first really big client and quit my corporate job. He's the one that really pushed me and like made it happen because I am not a risk taker and I was our only income, getting us through school. So I didn't want to do it. I wanted to play it safe, but he pushed me and I'm glad he did.
Yeah, that's amazing. So what was that first big client? When was that and what did that look like?
So that would have been in like 2017, I think. Yeah.
Okay.
And basically they came to me and said, we've been following you for a long time. We love what you're doing. Can you help us do that for our brand?
Okay.
So that was just, and that's like kind of how this whole journey has been for me. It's been like figure it out as I go. Like it's very much, even still now, like influencer marketing online is kind of, we're all
Yeah.
just kind of figuring it out, making it up. Like there's a little bit more of a template now, but when I started, I would just make up my pricing. I would make up, my templates, my media kit. Like I didn't have anything to refer to. It was just like, this is how I would do it. And so that's kind of how the social media management aspect came about.
Yeah.
There was a need for it. I was asked to help. And then that's like half of my business now.
Wow. That's amazing. So you've been doing this almost 10 years. What kept you motivated? What's kept you in this for, being consistent for that amount of time?
I think because I genuinely love it and I just feel like you said, like Spokane's hype girl. Like I'm trying to get all my friends that don't live here to move here. I'm trying to get all my
Yeah.
family to move here. Like I want people to come visit. I want them to fall in love with Spokane like I have. I want them to see how incredible this city is, how unique it is, all
Mhm.
that it has to offer because I think it's pretty awesome.
Me too. Me too. Why do you think it gets a bad rap? Some people kind of, think Spokane is a certain way, but it's really not what people think it is.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's not perfect. So there are things that, need to be improved upon, of course, as is in every city in the world. So
Yep.
I think people just kind of like to complain. And I
Yeah.
think a lot of people haven't really lived in other places, maybe, or traveled to other places. Like I'm from Dallas, I'm from a big city, and
Hmm.
I've lived, we've lived in California, we've lived in Utah, we lived in China for a little bit. Like we've lived all around. So I feel like I know kind of what I'm looking for in my home base. It's a great place to raise kids. You get all four seasons, which we love. And there's just a lot of really great benefits to living here. There's like so many lakes. I couldn't even believe it when I moved here how many lakes are just like right around us.
Hmm.
Mountains all around. Like it's just you have almost everything you'd want in a city.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so you have the inside scoop on all the restaurants, the food scene. So looking back to 2014 to now, how has the food scene changed? Like, what have you noticed?
Yeah, it has changed drastically. Um, and Spokane has changed drastically too. So we have Kendall Yards, which
Hmm.
in 2014 was very, very new. And we've had restaurants come in and out through that time. We have just kind of like the revitalization of different neighborhoods. So,
Yeah,
like even Hilliard, there's some incredible restaurants there now. Sorry, I'm losing my voice. I'm not sick. I just don't have a voice.
yeah.
Yeah, so we have Hilliard that's been revitalized. We have that whole Kendall Yards area, restaurants that have gone downtown that have really, helped revitalize that area.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, kind of all around. People are just constantly making an effort to grow the city and to improve it and to bring new things here.
Mhm. I think Spokane might be becoming more of a place that we can, hold on to some of these really talented chefs rather than the talented chefs moving to the bigger cities. They realize they can have maybe some success here. What do you think? Because there's some pretty good chefs here.
Yeah, of course. I totally agree. I work very closely with Adam Hegstead, who's a chef in town. He has about, gosh, I don't know, maybe like 7 restaurants around from here to North Idaho.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just always respect that. Like he tries new things. Like he tried Spanish tapas and
Yeah.
like all different things because Spokane needs more of that. Like we have enough like burgers and fries, gastropubs. We have enough.
Yep.
So when people kind of do that, same with Chad White, like he brought ceviche to Spokane and like that was the first time I'd really had ceviche and now it's one of my very favorite restaurants ever.
Yep.
So I just respect when chefs kind of take a risk and bring new things and make our city
Mhm.
even cooler.
Right. I think it's really neat. And you even see like Ethan Stoll coming over from
Hmm.
Seattle and putting some restaurants in here. And I still need to change this. I responded to one of your posts about the best French fries, and I said one thing, but it's actually the dill pickle fries at
Oh,
at oh my, like his burger place. Those fries are
Victory
unreal.
Burger. Mhm.
Yes.
They're
Yes.
so good. I just had those last week. Yes,
Yeah.
they are so good.
Yeah. So I
I
mean
know
it's really
best fries is like an impossible thing to ask people for because they're also different.
Yeah, and I do like that about Adam Hegstead because he has, yeah, a lot of diverse types of restaurants. Like we love going to Baba, um, but I
Yes.
like that he will change things up. Sometimes I'm like, whoa, this building used to be a certain type of restaurant, now it's a different one, and so
Yeah.
it's kind of interesting how he does that. And you work with him on, is it Crave TV? Can you tell me more about
Yes.
what that is?
Yeah, so it's a local TV show we do. It's on Fox 28. It airs usually Sunday evenings like right after football, so it's a really good airing time actually.
Yeah.
And we just kind of go around. We've done Spokane, we've done beyond Spokane, we've traveled a little bit and we do each episode is kind of broken into 3 segments. So there's like a food, a culture, and then the third one's kind of random. It's either like a brewery or a winery or like a farm or something like that. And we just kind of talk to the people that are pouring their heart and soul into these businesses, making our region super unique and special. And we learn from
Yeah.
them and try lots of food, and it's super fun.
That's really cool. I need to watch one of those episodes because they look so fun.
Yeah.
Um,
Sure.
so so when did you decide to, because you work with some other businesses that aren't food related, when did you
Mhm.
start expanding into those opportunities?
Yeah, so that was always what I wanted to do. I just
Yeah.
kind of when I thought of the name, I wanted to reach the masses. Like I said, I didn't know people. I didn't, have connections. So I thought, okay, everyone eats. We all connect over food every single day. Like we're big on
Hmm.
just like family dinners every night, things like that. So I just kind of thought it was like the great connector and an
Yeah.
easy starting point to not overwhelm myself or other people. So it started as strictly just food. And then once I felt like I really had a grasp on that and like understood what I was doing more and started to listen to feedback from followers, I branched out and that's been super fun. So we do like everything from fashion to beauty to travel to, you know, exercise, all of the things going on around town. And it's fun to be able to support more small businesses.
Yeah. No, that's really cool. I was actually listening to something today and it said like you are the niche or niche, however you say it. So like you like all of those things, and so that's what your niche is. That's what you're bringing to the table, and people will connect with that. And so I think that's
Yeah.
really cool what you've done. Did you ever think it would catch on like it has?
No way. Nope. Like I said, like it was just a hobby. My husband was studying all night every night when I'd get home from work. So I'm like, I need something so that I'm, giving him his time and space to study because it's really
Hmm.
important. So it was just a hobby, and I've
Mhm.
always, enjoyed. I had a blog like just for my friends and family when I did a study abroad in college, and I just like loved writing and
Yeah.
documenting things through photos. So it was just a passion project. I never imagined it would turn into a full-time job.
Why do you think people connect with you and what you're doing so well?
Gosh, I don't know. I think like I just try to be me. I try to be real. I try to be honest.
Hmm.
I really want people to like just think of me as like their online best friend kind of thing. And I get
Yeah.
to also meet people around town all the time, which is really unique, I think, for an influencer, because
Yeah.
usually it's not like so niche in a specific area. So I love getting to connect with people when I'm out and like meet people that I've chatted online with for so long.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like, yeah, I do open up a lot of my life, not everything, obviously, but I try to open up and be transparent and talk a lot on stories because then people like really get to know you better.
Yeah. No, that's great. When did you see it really start to gain traction? Because I mean, you have a ton of followers right now, and a lot of people engaged, like very engaged, it seems. So, like, when did you really start gaining traction? You're like, okay, this is like more than me just posting food. This is a business.
Yeah, I feel like this is the most annoying answer because this is not normal, but like it really happened quickly. Like
Yeah.
within the first few days, I had a few hundred followers, which shocked me. Like, I just couldn't
Hmm.
believe it. And it just really proved like how much of a need there was and how much people were like looking for something like this and looking for somebody talking positively about their city instead of, you saw a
Yeah.
lot of negativity online, I feel like at that time.
Yeah.
So it was just really good timing and it kind of just took off.
What is it about food that people just connect with so well? Because I mean, my wife, she's a food blogger and does recipe videography, and we love that. And I mean, obviously, we love following you, but like, why do you think people are so just focused on the food in our city and how important it is?
Gosh. Well, like personally, I just love food. And like when I travel, that's the first thing like I want to do. I want to go like eat all the amazing food and like I'm always looking up the restaurants beforehand. So I think it's like such a big part of our lives and I love like having meals with family and just like ordering a bunch of things and we all share and I think it's just such like a social thing, when you're celebrating a birthday, you go out to dinner. When you're, celebrating a promotion, you go out. Like it's
Yeah.
just the way we connect and there's so many great memories around food. Plus it
Yeah.
tastes good, so it makes you feel good and feel happy. I don't know, like personally, I just love food. I know a lot of like not everyone is like that,
Hmm.
but I do think it's something fun to do. So it's like you're always kind of looking forward to your next meal. At least I am.
Right.
So I think it just naturally people gravitate towards that kind of content.
Yeah. I think it's great too because you're almost like I'll go test it out for you. I'll give it you need a stamp of approval. This is what you need. You need Spokane Eats stamp of approval. Boom. And then people know, okay, it's fantastic. It's great. And so I think that's one of the reasons why people love it too. It's like, oh, Chandler's been there. She likes it. That's where we're going for dinner.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, honestly, like the stamp of approval is if it makes it on my page. Like
Yeah.
if we
Yeah.
go and have a bad experience somewhere, or if we try something we don't like, I do not post it. And that
Okay. So
happens.
that
People
happens.
people like ask if it actually happens. It does.
Okay.
So if you see it on our page, it's got the stamp of approval. We had a great experience. We loved, what we tried. And sometimes we go to a restaurant and try 10 things, and I only really liked one or two. And so
Yeah.
that's what you see on the page. You don't see the other eight things.
Interesting. So you ever had someone offer to maybe pay you to share and you didn't have a great experience?
Yes.
And you don't, okay. How does that go?
Yeah, I don't accept the money until we've left and posted and all of that. And I've had a few instances where I just say, you know what, I would love to pay for this meal and thank you. And yeah, that's it.
Interesting. Well, that's good.
Yeah,
I
I
think
can
that's
only
really
think
good.
of very few though. It's happened very few times. Usually we can find something or, something positive to highlight. And again, like I'm getting obviously if if someone invites us in, we're getting really great service. We're getting, the best of the best.
Hmm.
So that's an added layer of, it just kind of complicates things a little bit, but
Yeah,
it just lets you know, like, okay, they can do that. So, like, let's make it happen for everyone kind of thing.
right.
But yeah, it's happened very few times. And the two that like come to mind, neither of those restaurants exist anymore and they weren't around for very long. So,
Yeah, I
yeah.
guess that makes sense. Yeah, yeah. Okay, so that's the stamp of approval. If it's on the page, it's a good place to go.
Yes.
Um, are people reaching out to you on a daily basis? Like, what does that look like? Are you getting just tons of, emails and messages, or what's going on with the business side?
Yeah, yeah. So people usually DM or email. I prefer email for collaborations, and
Hmm.
we kind of communicate that way. I do get daily requests, sometimes multiple a day, and then I kind of um, research the brand a little bit, talk to people that I know if they've tried them, or figure out if it's somebody that I think would be a good fit, and then we kind of go forward from there and planning a visit or whatever that partnership might look like.
Is that awesome?
It's pretty fun. Yeah. It's my husband gets so annoyed like if I come home after like a long day at work and he's like, "You literally got a facial and a massage. Like, why are you?" And it's like the dream job. Yes.
Yeah,
It's
100.
awesome.
Yeah, it looks pretty cool. I'm like, dang, that looks like a nice day. But I'm
I
sure
know.
there's some stressful parts. Like, is there anything that's stressful with what you do?
I am just like such a like do you look at Enneagrams? Do you know about those?
I mean, I think I knew at one point. No, I
Yeah,
don't
I
know
know.
very.
So I'm like a 3, which is an achiever. So I'm like constantly just like trying to do my best for everyone. So like I just want to get the best content for the client, the brand. I want to like obviously help them promote their business in the best way. And then I want to also like have it catered to people. Like what do they want to see? What's some new content, like new ideas? So I am like hard on
Yeah.
myself when it comes to content. I want everything to be perfect and like different, but also really like genuine to myself and the brand. So
Hmm.
that part does get stressful, especially when you're doing it like I've been doing it for so many years. I'm like, how can I make this different? How can I, keep people interested? Like, so that whole achiever side of me sometimes can really stress me out, but I
Yeah.
can't complain. It's so fun.
Yeah. That makes sense. Yeah, you almost, as you grow, you feel this responsibility to almost have maybe better content, or continue to improve. And so I can see that being, you know, a little bit of a stressor. But you built something amazing, and so I'm just kind of curious, like, what are you most proud of when you look back over the last 9 years?
Oh my gosh. Um, I've never thought about that. What am I proud of? I don't feel like I feel proud of myself very often. Um,
Achiever. That's the
I mean,
achiever.
it's yeah, right. I know I'm very hard on myself. It's so I don't know. Like so my husband when he did residency was in Texas, so we had a house there and lived there, and then I would fly back and forth every month to kind of maintain it. And
Wow.
when we found out that's where he was doing residency, I was just so overwhelmed, like thinking, is this worth it? Like, do I just stop? Do I sell? Like, I had people wanting to buy it, like, just
Hmm.
a million thoughts and decisions.
Yeah.
But I decided I wanted to make it work and I wanted to continue to invest in the city because this is where we wanted to end up, whether or not he was going to find a job here or not. So we wanted to just try and make it work. And I did. And so I'm like, I feel like every time I would travel back and forth with my daughter, who was, an infant at that point, an infant to 3 years old,
Wow.
I was always like, I did it. I did it. Cause I traveled with her solo every single month. So that
Wow.
made me proud. Like, I just felt like proud of myself that I could kind of conquer that. And then that I maintained Spokane Eats. And a lot of people didn't even know that I was back and forth because I didn't want to like scare people or, have people think I was leaving or
Yeah.
anyway. So that whole back and forth for 3 years, I'm proud that I made it work and it was pretty seamless for the most
Wow.
part.
That's impressive. Um, and now, so he has a job here, and so you guys are here, right?
Yeah. Yeah, no, we're here. We're here for good. We bought our house a year ago and we're here.
Nice. That's fantastic. Um,
Yeah.
so outside of, what people see on Instagram, and so it looks like you guys are into fitness and not getting sunburned. Um, what, what,
Yeah, you
what
can see
else
I
do you guys,
strategically have my blinds like right here.
so what else do you guys
Um,
do? What's interesting?
yeah, gosh, I mean, we're super into like saunaing right now. So we have a sauna and we
Cool.
sauna every night and we just love it.
Nice.
We love spending time with our family. We have some of Dan's family is here and more of them are moving here. So we love spending
Nice.
time with our family, our friends. We love going on walks. We live kind of out in the country a little bit. So we do these like long country walks by horses and cows and pigs, and the kids just love it. And yeah, I mean, if it was up to Dan, we would never leave our house and he'd be
Yeah.
perfectly content. And I'm the opposite. So
Yeah.
we try and find a middle ground.
Yeah. Well, at least there's free food on the end of it usually for him.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. He
that's
does
a
like
good,
free food.
yeah, that's a good plus. Um, I
Yeah.
guess, what is there anything in Spokane regarding the food scene? Do you think it needs anything, or what are we missing? What do you hope comes to our city?
I get asked a lot about like people wanting like a Din Tai Fung type restaurant, like in
Yeah.
Seattle. That's definitely a big request. People are like, why don't we have anything like that? Where can I find that? Where can I find that? And we really don't have anything like that.
Hmm.
um, Let's see. We got our Chick-fil-A. I know it's a chain, but
Yeah.
we got our Chick-fil-A. I was very excited about that being from Texas and, growing up
Yep.
on that. Let's see. We have like such good variety. We have awesome sushi. We have some great Asian restaurants. We
Hmm.
have awesome Thai food. I love De Leon for Mexican food. It's not Tex-Mex, but they do a really good job. So, I mean, I would request like a great Tex-Mex spot with some delicious queso personally.
Yeah. Yep. That's cool. Um, yeah, I am team Din Tai Fung. Just dumplings, like there's something about them
Mhm.
that sounds so great. Yeah, I was curious if you would want, yeah, more Texas inspired food. So that makes sense. Um,
Yeah, we have some great barbecue spots. I'm not even like mad about that. We have enough, I feel.
yeah, okay. Well, let's see. Looking into like the holiday season, what can people get excited about, or what's going on in the city that maybe someone might not know or that they should know about?
Yeah. So tonight I'm actually taking my family to the Coeur d'Alene Santa Cruz out at
Oh,
the
yes.
lake. So
Mm-hmm.
that's a must every
It's a good
year.
one.
Yeah. And I feel like people always think it's going to be really cold and like kind of treacherous, and it's not. Like the boat is warm and it's
Yeah,
totally worth it. It's so fun. My daughter looks forward to it every year. So we love that tradition.
nice.
We love going to see Santa at River Park Square.
Mm-hmm.
That's a must every year. We got our pictures with him. Let's see. We're gonna go cut a Christmas tree down at Green Bluff. I think that is a must for everybody.
Nice.
Supporting local and you get something great out of it. There's so many
Hmm.
fun holiday traditions here that like we didn't have anything like that even in Dallas in such a big city. So
Yeah,
it's great.
yeah, it's a good spot. I mean, I'm biased because I live up north too, and so anything to do with Green Bluff is probably my favorite thing to do. Uh,
Yeah,
yeah, it's fantastic. So,
you
okay,
can't beat
let's see.
Green
No way. So, looking ahead, like 3 to 5 years, where do you see Spokane Eats and Chandler Baird? Like, where do you see that going?
Bluff. I try not to even think about that really, honestly,
Yeah,
because like I've never had a plan for where Spokane Eats is going to go. Like I said, like it was just a fun hobby and I had no idea. And then even like being in Texas, I could never, think like what's this going to be like when we move back? Like I just really keep it open and like listen to what people are saying, try to give my audience kind of what they want, try to always be ready to pivot and do more of this and less of this. And Yeah, I just really keep an open mind, and I feel like I can't even think tomorrow. Like I don't know what I'm doing tomorrow. So like to
Yeah.
think what I'm doing in a few years, I'm just like that makes my mind just freak out.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I was reading in a book the other day, and I feel like you have the perfect business because it said find a starving crowd, ask them what they want, and give it to them. And it's like that's like exactly what you do.
Yeah, I
People just
love that. And they're literally and figuratively starving.
yeah, exactly. I was like, wow, that's like the perfect business. And so
Yeah.
right on for that.
Oh, thanks.
So you have some interns or an intern. How has that
Mhm.
process gone for you?
It's been great. My first intern reached out. She was kind of just a local college student looking to learn more. And so I didn't
Yeah.
think, oh, I want interns. She just was like, how can I help? And then from that, it's blossomed into this awesome internship that we've had going pretty much since like close to the beginning. And I've had one to two, sometimes three interns at a time, which has been so fun. They're usually college students, but not always. And they're just like so eager to learn and they're excited about the city. And, it's kind of like the situation I was in when I started, where they're in college. Like they don't really have the funds to always go out and have these nice meals
Yeah.
or go to these super cool events, these galas and whatever. And so it's a fun excuse for them to dress up and eat nice food and network and just learn the industry. So that's been really, really fun.
Is it competitive? I feel like this would be a very competitive internship. I feel like there's a lot of people who would want to do this work.
Yeah, whenever I post like, "Hey, we're looking for an intern," we get a lot of resumes, and it's always so hard to pick because there's so many great characteristics to everyone. And yeah, that's always really stressful for me is picking an intern because
Yeah.
I just want someone that's a go-getter and someone that's on top of things and reliable, but also someone that's gonna like vibe really well with myself. And then I also have an assistant on the social media side who
Hmm.
helps me with all of that management for other clients. So
Nice.
we all kind of have to be working well together,
Yeah, that makes total
which I've
sense.
been so lucky. Yeah, we've had the most amazing interns and I keep in touch with a lot of them still today. They're awesome.
Nice. Do they do they end up wanting to create something like you've created, or do they just look to get the skills? Why are they interning, do you think?
Yeah, I think a couple of them have started pages, not like necessarily food in Spokane, but like
Hmm.
pages elsewhere. So they're trying to learn for that purpose, which is
Okay.
awesome. And some of them, are just college students and think it'd be really fun and, a cool thing to do. So
Yeah,
we get all ranges of people. Yeah.
cool. So if you I know you had success right off the bat, but if you had to start over knowing what you know now, like would you change anything or how would you do it?
Hmm. I mean, I want to say like I wouldn't make a couple random mistakes that I've made, but also
Hmm.
like that's gotten me here. And I just feel so blessed and so lucky to be able to do what I do and that people care to listen and care to follow and engage. So I don't think I would. I
Yeah.
mean, I would take a couple embarrassing like blog post typos that I've done in the past or, tagging the wrong account that I've done in the
Hmm.
past, like little mistakes like that that just like really helped me learn and grow. And like I'm human and
Yeah.
it's been a fun ride. There's been some highs and some lows and everything in between. And I've cried and I've laughed and, it's been all the things, but it's been really fun.
Okay. Okay, I saw something and I'm like a product guy. I like creating things and all of that. We used to have a instant drink company.
Yep.
I saw something and I think it's smart. Are you creating some sort of product or can you give any insight or I saw something that looked like a bar.
We have, over the years really gone back and forth with different product ideas and things like that. So we have some friends making a bar that we've been working with. We really just wanted to create something for busy moms on the go, something that our kids could also eat that wasn't packed with sugars and preservatives and just horrible ingredients that are hurting
Nice.
us and not helping us. So we're in the process of working on that with some friends, which has been really fun. And then I've helped push other products that friends have made that like I just feel very invested in and like love and want
Mm.
to grow and support. But
Yeah.
yeah, my husband, with him being a dermatologist, we've thrown around a lot of skincare ideas too, because
Mm.
I'm passionate about that. He's passionate about that. So
Yeah.
we've gone back and forth about products, but I really don't want to fully commit until I'm like 100% obsessed with something and it's like really on brand. Because you kind of have, I think, like one shot in the beginning. So
Mm.
nothing like
Yeah.
crazy in the works, but we're always doing little projects.
Right. Yeah, because right now you have, I mean, with attention comes opportunities, and so you're seeing that. But also now that you have attention, you can't just try a whole bunch of things and just continue changing because that doesn't look good. But no, that's cool. I'm
Exactly.
excited. Excited to hear more about that. I've always thought it would be smart of you because you do have like a fanatical following. You have very good engagement. Like why do people engage and comment, like I know I kind of asked this, but like it's a really good thing that you have going.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I every day I'm just like so feel so lucky that I get to do what I do and that like people care. And I think it's
Hmm.
just because people have a heart for the city just like I do and they want other people to see that and they want to like everyone wants to love their city. So
Yeah.
I'm giving them all these excuses to love it and all these cool things and I don't know, I think people can just really relate to that. And then like I said, I just try to be like real and human and open myself up online kind of for people to just chat and like hang out and whatever. So I don't know why it works. Like again, I just am really glad it does.
Yeah, great. Okay, before you go, I just have a couple more questions that we'll end with. I guess you probably have a lot of answers to this, but I'm not sure. So like what's your favorite thing to do in our city? It can be anything.
Ooh. I mean, we talked about Green Bluff. I love going to
Hmm.
Green Bluff. We go like all year round. The kids love it. It's just so fun, something that's so unique and love supporting our local farmers.
Yeah.
So that is huge. We love that. We love like going to the Spokane Club and exercising and then like doing a fun event there with our kids or something like that downtown. We love going to Coeur d'Alene and hanging out at the resort, going to the lake. I don't know. We love eating. Like,
Yeah.
obviously, we eat a
Yeah.
lot. We love going out to eat.
Absolutely. Okay, that's good. No, I think those are all fun things. And then this is an interesting question, but who's someone in Spokane that you think more people should know?
Oh, oh my gosh. Um, gosh, there's so many people. I mean, I feel like everyone knows them at this point, but like Birdie's Pie Shop, the
Hmm.
pie is just out of this world, and the owners are like some of the coolest, most genuine, sweet people you'll ever meet in your life. So I feel like everyone needs to go meet them.
They got a new
Um,
location.
yeah, they have a new location in Spokane.
Hmm.
So yeah, I know I'm probably missing like a million people. I meet like new people
Oh
every
yeah,
single day, and I'm just constantly blown away and inspired by these people doing these incredible things in town. I feel like I need to scroll through my Instagram feed.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I would just say like all the small business owners. Like yesterday, I got my hair done at Lux, and like I
Hmm.
just so admire them, and like they just work super, super hard and
Hmm.
they love what they do. And basically, like the owner, Meg, was kind of in the same boat as me, like, had just wanted to like create this amazing place in Spokane because why
Yeah.
shouldn't we have an incredible hair salon that, some people come from Seattle to get their hair done here actually because it's better
Wow.
than places there. So, just people like that that are putting so much
Hmm.
time, energy, heart, money into the city. I'm just so appreciative and if we all work together, like we could just make Spokane even better.
Yeah. No, I love it. I love what the city is doing and how there's new businesses and new restaurants and all the stuff that you're showing us. But yeah, it's pretty incredible. We love it, and yeah, I don't think we're going anywhere either. Um,
Good, good.
so how can people follow along with what you're doing and reach out to you if they're interested in partnering with you or anything like that?
Yeah, so we're on socials as Spokane Eats, so Facebook,
Hmm.
Instagram, TikTok. My TikTok is called Skin Doc Wife. I'm not on it very much, but that was kind of like a new niche I was wanting to work on,
Okay.
so I'll get there eventually when I, find the time, make it a priority. And then we have our website, SpokaneEats.net. Yes, SpokaneEats.com was taken. It's
Oh,
unfortunate, but
yeah.
we're redoing our site now actually with
Oh,
a
cool.
company out of Port Wayne. So that will be coming soon. We'll be launching that. We're doing a little
Nice.
bit of rebranding with a graphic designer too for a new logo.
Sweet.
Yeah, so lots of new fun things happening.
Cool. Well, that's exciting. Thank you for taking the time today. I'm so excited for people to learn more about you. And yeah, we appreciate what you're doing.
Thank you. It was fun.
Yeah, absolutely.